Okay. So as I told you, this Markov decision process will help us identify certain uncertainties present, okay, in the environment. So what does it do? The first step is I am unknown. I know the value of the state, but I don't know whether I have to take that state or not. So I'm unknown of my next state. From that current position, which way I have to go? Either I have to go for the top way, the sideways, or the bottom way. I don't have an idea. Okay. So in order to do so, this Markov decision process will associate it with a probability or an expectation value. Okay. Associate a probability with each of the turns to quantify the robot if it has got X percentage chance to take the turn. In the sense, I'm going to give certain probabilities telling that if I only give that, I can really have the ability, the robot will have the ability to think, okay, there's a probability of this, so it can take this action next. Okay. So that probability, I've written it over here in this diagram. If it is really helpful for you, I just wanted to write it. So the robot is in that current state. Okay. I know the value of the states. The value of the states I have identified using the Bellman equation. But now I have to identify I have to take, right? Which position that I have to take, so that I'm going to tell, see, the probability of taking this path is 0.8%, the upwards. The probability of the robot taking the left side of it is 0.3, 0.03. The probability of the robot where it can take the right hand side of it is 0.03. The probability of it taking the below part is zero point 0.1. So I'm going to associate a probability for each and every state to quantify the robot which it has to take based on the percentage of it, which direction it has to take. I'm going to quantify and tell the robot. So it is telling, see, there are 80% of chances if you take the above path to reach your destination. There are 0.3 percentage of chances that you can reach your destination. Okay. Again, to the right hand side, it is telling there is 0.03% of chances for you to reach the destination. If you take the below path, it is 0.1%. That is 10 percentage of chances that you might reach the destination fast as you expected. So now I'm assigning a probability to it. Okay. So I'm going to write now, I'm going to have to change the equation, the Bellman equation now. So V of S is equal to maximum of A. There is a reward that I'm going to associate it with. I have a distance factor, which is the gamma, and I'm going to assign, you can see here, for each state, S dash, for each state, S dash is the above states. Like I have to go one above, towards the right, towards the left, or towards the down. So I have 4 states over here for that particular current state. Okay. So I'm going to take S dash into probability of S, probability of S to S dash. So if I annotate it over here, this is S. Okay. So this will be S dash, S1, S2, S3, and S4. Okay. So probability of S making an action to reach S1, probability of S making an action to reach S2, probability of S making an action to reach S3, probability of S making an action to reach S4. I'm going to write that within this single term, writing as S dash, probability of S comma A comma S dash. And I already know the value of S dash. Okay. So I'm reframing the Bellman equation with these terms because I'm adding a probability term into picture. So I'm going to add this probability term and I'm going to write it. So P of S comma S dash, S A and S dash is the probability of moving from room S to S dash with an action A. We have seen that. So this total summation of S dash, when I'm adding all of these four, it actually gives the expectation of the situation that the robot incurs randomness. As I told, randomness is which way it has to go. It is not clear of it. So when I perform all of these, it will give me the expectation, the correct value, which it has to go next. Okay. Now it is making that action. Now, since I've given the probability value, the robot can make an action very easily. That's very fine. Okay. But even the robot would expect an expectation. It would also expect a reward, right? Just like that, all time you make me work, there should be a reward that is being given for each and every step the robot takes. Till now, we never gave a reward at all. But now the robot, after giving that probability, right, it got more cautious like, no, you have given me all these things. I need a reward for that, for the action that I do. Okay. So a reward has to be given at each step. Okay, for an action taken by the robot. We call this to be as the idea of living penalty. See, the word itself will tell you a living penalty. Penalty in the sense is basically, okay, you're doing some work and I'm expecting out of it. The similar way here, I'm doing my classes, so the expectation of it is basically I might get a good reward for that. The reward would be the number of people who are getting an advantage of it, getting higher scores in machine learning. That's my expectation. I need a reward for that. This is what I expect, right? So there's a living penalty that has been given. So that living penalty, the concept of this living penalty, giving a reward to each and every state or an action the robot makes, right? We call it to be as transforming it into a Q learning. Q learning is nothing but quality learning. Now we are going to get an idea, okay, why this quality learning? Till now we saw, I created the values of the states. Once I created the values of the states, the robot should get to know which direction it has to take because it doesn't have an idea. In order to do so, we came up with the probability scores. Once we got the probability scores, the robot will also expect, you have done so much for me. Why don't you give me a reward? Because I'm performing an action. Give me a reward for that. So in order to give the reward, we normally consider this idea of living penalty where we are transforming all these things into Q learning. Okay. So this is a very important algorithm, Q learning. I'll tell you what this Q learning is. We have only a small part of it left. I think I can finish that. So Q learning. See, rather than just considering or determining the possible values of the states, what did we did last time? We did identifying the possible values of the states. That was an additional calculation that we did, right? Rather than determining that, see, determine the quality of the action. Rather than identifying the value of the states, you tell that, see, from one state to the other, this is the, when you're performing this action, quantify that action. In the sense, you're directly telling, okay, this is what the probability of it is. Probability of it is, which means that it is telling it has a higher priority, which means this is the action that you're going to perform to the other state to reach your destination that we were trying to quantify so much. Give that itself, that now quantify the action itself rather than going ahead with the states, breaking your head with, okay, which state that I have to move, okay, how do I get the state values, from which state to which state I have to move. Rather than doing all of these things, you directly quantify the action. Based on the actions, the robot will take its decision. Okay, so it is considering, rather than determining or considering the possible values of the state, determine the quality of the action moving to the state has a very major impact. Okay, so cumulative quality, as I told, Q of S comma A, a state and an action. I'm going to call it to be as Q of S comma A, which is nothing but a cumulative quality of all possible actions the robot might take. This is very important, the one that I've noted over here. A cumulative quality of all possible actions the robot might take. Okay, let me just give you another diagram. I've written it more elaborate for you, so it is going to be helpful. Okay, so the elaborate way of it is, I know V of S, my Bellman equation. What did I do over there? See, I got the value, that is, see, the value of this was given. I calculated the probability of that, right? Just one step behind, we're going to recall. So what I did was, I had a robot over here. So the robot did not know which direction to take, either the upwards, the left or the right or the downwards. So what we did, we gave the probability. The probability of it was 0.8, 0.03, 0.1 and 0.03. And based on that, we asked our robot to take a decision, right? So that was 0.8 into V of S1, the value of S1, 0.03 into value of S2, 0.1 into value of S3, 0.3 into value of S4. So when I take the cumulative quality, like when I take the addition of all of those things, so it was V of S is equal to maximum of the reward plus gamma into 0.8 into V of room up, the value of room up, 0.1 into the value of room down again, and so on. So I had to perform all these operations. That is what I told. Rather than considering the value of the states, you can easily consider the value, quantify the action itself. So what am I going to do from here, from this model? I am going to move to this model where the robot, by only qualifying the action or quantifying the action performed. So Q of S1 comma A1, Q of S2 comma A2, Q of S3 comma A3, Q of S4 comma A4, it can take the decision. How would I get to know the value of it? I'll let you know. So rather than considering the possible value of a state, a cumulative quantity of action that is being that it is taking to move to a state, that is the stochasticity of the environment has to be considered in picture. So from here, which action it has to take, that we have to quantify. Okay, which action it has to take, it has to quantify. So we are right now in this state. We are telling, rather than calculating all of these things, I just wanted to calculate the quantity of the action. So I want this to be calculated now. So how am I going to do that? The robot has 4 different states here to choose. Yes, it has 4 different states here to choose, and 4 different actions as well for each state. Yes, it has, these are the states, S1, S2, S3, S4 are the states, and it has a particular action to be taken, A1, A2, A3, A4. Okay, so these are the states. Now, how do we calculate this Q, the cumulative quality of possible actions the robot might take? How do I get to know which Q it has to select? So in order to do so, from the equation, we already know this was the Bellman equation with probabilities that we had. So V of S is equal to max of A, R of S of A plus the distance factor into the probabilities of it plus the value. That is this equation. Whatever I have it in the left hand side of it. So this is the current equation that I have. From here, what am I doing here? Discard the maximum function. I'm going to discard this max function. I do not need this function for now, okay? Because I used to take the maximum of this value and I used to make it. Now I don't want that for now. I'm going to take that out function. V of S is equal to R of S comma A comma. So since I'm removing this, I will just have only these things into picture and I've written it over here. Okay, so considering all possible actions and all possible states, that is what I'm doing here. All possible actions is S1, S2, S3, S4. All possible states, sorry, actions A1, A2, A3, A4. All possible states is S1, S2, S3, and S4. Okay, that is from the current state. The current state is this. I'm going to take all of these 4 values. Okay, we take the maximum values caused by taking a certain action such that the equation produced a value footprint which is for one possible action. To tell you in a very simple terms, it is the same that we did over here. Here we used to calculate all the possible values of it and do it. But here I'm going to quantify each and every value by performing the same operation. Okay, I'm going to perform the same operation, but rather than terming it as something like this, I'm going to term it as Q, S1 and A1. Q, S2 and A2, Q, S3 and A3, Q, S4 and A4, where my robot can take any one of these actions. Okay, which means that I'm going to take the maximum of these 4. I will be calculating these values the same whatever I'm doing over here. I'm going to give the value as Q1, S1 and A1, but I'm performing the same operation for that. But whichever will give me this Q quality value more, cumulative quality value more, I will consider that state. You can see here the equation lies the same. So what am I doing? The equation produced a value footprint in the sense Q of S comma A. I'm writing the same equation. Whatever the equation that I have here, I'm considering the same equation here. The same operation it is going to perform, but here, rather than giving a value to a state, I'm going to give a lot of value to an action. Okay, that action is basically this part, whatever I have it. I'm using the same equations, but here I'm considering the value of it. Instead of this value, I'm going to add the maximum of Q of S dash comma A dash. Okay, what am I doing? Let me show it to you in the figure. Rather than taking this value in the equation, the value is V of S1. Rather than taking this value in the equation, I am going to consider Q dash of S1. Okay, Q dash is basically from here to here I have to go. Okay, and this is the maximum of all of these four, whichever is maximum here. I'm going to calculate this Q of S1 and A1 using the same equation. This equation itself I'm using and I'm calculating the value of it. But whichever is maximum out of this, either this is maximum, either this is maximum, or either this is maximum or this is maximum. I'm going to take the maximum value of this as my quality, what you call, to identify this quality of S comma A. So to identify the quality of this, I'm going to consider the maximum value out of all of these four, and I'm representing that as Q dash S1 A1, Q dash S2 A2, Q dash S3 A3, and Q dash S4 A4. So what did I do? Only one step change. Rather than calculating the value of S, okay, I mean, I'm using the value of S and I've got the quality of this. From this quality, I am going to replace that with maximum of Q of S dash and A dash. Maximum of 4, whatever that I had 4 values, right? From that maximum of 4, I'm going to give Q of S comma A. The center portion of that robot value Q of S comma A is going to be the same operation that I perform, only with taking the maximum of either of the 4 values. Okay. I think I'll stop here for today. There are only 2 more steps left, but